Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year. For my first subject-related video of the year, I'm going to talk about religion. Big surprise. I haven't talked about religion in a while, and this was a subject that I've had various opinions on over the years. I've learned to be much more patient with religious folks because I myself never really had anything against religion, only dogma. The pious attitude of those who claim to believe and claim that others can only be saved through Christ, or whatever particular belief a person has. I've learned to respect that more and understand that if a person says you can only find truth through Christ and they believe that, that's no different than me saying I only find truth through seeking the Christ consciousness. I no longer try to separate the idea of a man and the idea of a symbol. These are all metaphors, and if a person wants to take a literal interpretation, that's fine. It's not a matter of what a person believes. It's a matter of how they act upon it. So if a person believes in Christ and they act with goodwill towards others and they help others because of that, so be it. If a person worships the sun itself and does the same action, so be it. Meanwhile, many people are so pious about what they believe, yet they don't really have any actual benefit towards mankind. They don't really help out their community. They're, bad fathers, bad wives, husbands, just bad members of society that think they can go to church once a week and they're saved, and those are the folks that I've always had a problem with. Or the church itself, in which the priests, and all the molestation that went on with the Catholic Church, which was a little bit, don't really want to discuss that issue here, or try to bash religion because of that, but saying that things happen and people are blamed because of it, and they blame the religion as a whole for the problems that happen, and that's not fair, because, the religion isn't the problem. What it is the dogmatic actions and groups and coalescing of groups who claim to have the truth, the one truth. When people talk about Buddhism, let's say, they think it's a religion, and it's not. It's a way of life. Buddhism doesn't have a religion, although people have created sects and followings to make Buddhism into a religion for them, and that's fine too. The reason I'm doing this video is because I was flipping through, I have this notebook with various drawings and pictures and stuff I've made over the years, and I found one particular thing that I'd drawn last year, probably a year ago. It was a religious chart about world religions versus U.S. religions, and I wanted to show people this because I spent a little bit of time to do this, and it was to see myself in physical way, the difference between how U.S. people view the religion in the world, how U.S. atheists may feel towards religion, or how worldwide atheists may feel towards religion, or U.S. Christians or worldwide Christians. So without further ado, I'll just go ahead and show you what I got here. I'm going to have to do it this way because I only have a camera in the front. So I'm going to try to do this here. So this right here is worldwide religions. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. These are Chinese religions. Let's see. The blue one's Judaism. A little more, wait, no, sorry, not the Buddhism. Which was a really interesting, if you look at the actual Buddhists in the world, there's quite a significant amount compared to the Buddhists in the U.S., which are basically non-existent. However, when you look at U.S. Christians, it's a major significant portion. I actually wrote down the percentages and whether they're on the decline or the increase. Agnosticism is on the rise. Catholicism is on the decline. Most of the others have remained steady. Islam is slightly on the increase as well, and Christianity as a whole is on the decline. And what we find out with these charts is that people are shifting between systems and belief systems. Someone who's in Islam may believe that means Islam's going to take over, but no, what's happening is these are agnostic or non-affiliated people in the nation, and this is worldwide. They remain the same. This is the stable portion of society that, I should say the stable group that remains consistent throughout different cultures, although it's not, always that amount. What was it? 1.1 billion people are not affiliated, and that's pretty significant. That's 1 in 7 people who are not affiliated with any religious group, and many of these other groups, such as Buddhism, which is a way of life, many of these are Chinese primal beliefs. These are primal right here, actually. the brown ones. So there's a lot more in the world. Atheism down here is, let's see, what was it? Worldwide, they said atheism was 4%. In the U.S., it's only 1.6%. So, anyway, some of these are interesting. I guess I could sit and explain the chart all day, but you get the gist of it. Many people have a certain viewpoint of Christians as being, that it's a Christian world merely because they consider the U.S. a Christian nation, when in fact it's really not. And those who say that this nation was founded on on Christianity, or that it's a Christian nation, I don't really think that's fair. Because the founding fathers, regardless of which ones believed what, they came here to escape religious persecution. So they would no longer be told what to believe by other, by the king, by the places where they lived. We wanted to have a free nation, what would be deemed the new world, a new Atlantis. And many people talk about the U.S. as being this new world order and whatnot, that it was created, to be something evil, when in fact, if you look at a lot of the, the way that people have been held down by their governments for so long, we in the U.S. have it pretty damn good. Even though a majority of believers are Christian in this nation, it doesn't mean that the entire nation is a Christian belief system. But it's just one that survived and seemed to work well in Western culture. Whereas Islam is a little more brutal the way a lot of people perceive it, and that worked better for Eastern, culture. And we go back and forth with who's right and who's wrong, and I think in the end the problem isn't religion. And I've learned over the years not to bash religion, but to understand it, to do things like this, where I can get a grasp on what's really going on, as far as which groups believe what. And when you break it down nation to nation and actually get the numbers, you'll see that, of course, there are higher and lower numbers, but within the smaller areas, it's even further divided. It's just like when you take the red and blue states from the map of, people try to say, oh yeah, well look, on the eastern states in the U.S. and the western states are all blue, and that the heartland is red, therefore the people in the heartland are just ignorant and the people on the coast are educated. I've thought that way too. But it's more complicated than that. That's not fair. I mean, I've said something like that, and I offended someone who lived in the South, and I said, I'm sorry, I generalized you. That's not fair for me to say that. Because if you do break it down to even counties and then cities, you see that it's red and blue everywhere. That this nation's divided into different political systems, different religions, everywhere. That the whole of Texas isn't just a bunch of hicks in cowboy hats, or that the people in Oregon aren't a bunch of lumberjacks. Even though it's kind of funny that here I am wearing this shirt that might as well be a lumberjack. People out here do tend to dress in those camo and plaid and flannel shirts. But anyway, I find it interesting, the different cultures and belief systems in different areas, and trying not to assign one area to a belief, or saying these people are this, these people are that. And I find myself, when I do it, I hope to be called out on it, because I really don't like to be unfair. It's almost like saying all of Islam is ignorant, which seems to be a major premise of maybe people taking on people like I don't even know why I debate people that are Trump supporters. This one guy the other day that actually had a Trump picture as his his screen, his avatar, and I'm thinking, okay, he's either a supporter, he's just a douchebag, whatever. But he was saying how we've got to get tough on Islam, get tough, and this is the attitude people have towards other belief systems. We got to get tough on religion, get tough on what people believe. I mean, get real. Give me a freaking break. You don't get tough on anything. You get smart. You use your head. The first principle is the principle that all is mental. The universe is mental. And with that knowledge, everything else just kind of falls into place, and we start to realize that we're in full control of our destiny. We're not going to change anything by forcing it on others. We have to think our way as a collective out of the situations that we get ourselves into, but abandoning religion will never be part of that. We're just going to have to accept it for what it is, or else prove why living without it is better. And people won't want that. Some people will want religion, some people will want atheism, some people will want Buddhism, and that's just the way we have to live and understand. Instead of fighting against the current, we have to ride the waves. We don't have to buy into anything ourselves. It's just like marketing. It's going to happen. People are going to try to sell things to you. That's the way the world works. You don't have to watch the commercials, and you don't have to buy the products. So you are free to think what you want, unless you believe that you're being influenced, in which case maybe you should start being less influenced. And that's the key. You start working into that, understanding your desires and what you want and why you believe what you want. You question what you desire. You question who you love and why you say this and why you make promises and what you're really trying to accomplish with your life. And you'll find something interesting about yourself. I have no idea what it might be, but you'll find something. Talk to y'all later.